Is now still a good time to buy a home? I mean, considering home prices are way up, mortgage rates have jumped substantially, and inflation is at a 40-year high. Should you move forward with your plans to buy, or should you put those plans on hold until next year? Hi, this is Andrew with the S2 real estate team of eXp Realty, coming to you today from Frisco, Texas. And in this video, I want to try and help answer that question for you. I'm not saying I have all the answers for you, but I do want to try and provide a little bit of perspective and provide you some information that you need to know what it is that you should do, right? Should you move forward with your plans? Should you wait? I mean, without a doubt, everything has gotten really, really expensive, and it's hitting people in different ways across the board. And there's a great deal of uncertainty out there. I mean, and almost a sense of fear, right? So if potential home buyers right now, there's a fear that if they move forward with their plans to buy, they're at the top of the market. And no one wants to buy anything at the top of the market. For sellers, on the flip side, it's been that cat and mouse game. You know, for a long time now, sellers haven't wanted to put their home on the sale because there's nothing to buy. If they list their home for sale, where are they going to go? They're into the same position in the fight, the struggle that buyers have had. Now, I covered that in quite a bit of detail in last week's video, which was my monthly market update for April. I've got a link to it below in case you'd like to take a look at that. But today we're just going to dive into just a couple of things with what's going on in the market, what we're likely to see going forward, as best as we can, and also talk again to help answer that question for you on what it is that you should consider doing. So let me share my screen with you now. So a survey was recently conducted by the Harris Group, and they released here what is known as the Harris Poll. And without any big surprise, they found that 84% of Americans plan to cut back on spending a result of price spikes. In addition, more than 7 in 10 report feeling the effects of inflation, most noticeably in gas prices and groceries. Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, the price of everything has absolutely skyrocketed. Now, ironically enough, in the face of these inflationary price hikes that we've been seeing, coupled with the fact that mortgage rates have jumped exponentially fast, much faster than anyone had predicted just a couple of months ago, that home sales in the past month are actually up. Right. And so why would that be? Well, what it really is you've got a lot of people that have been sitting on the fence. The idea of is now a good time to buy isn't new. A year ago, I had people asking the exact same question, is now a good time to buy? Some determined that it was. Obviously, a lot determined that it was, as the price hikes that we've been seeing in housing are directly related to supply and demand. Okay. And then again, check out that video from last week where I cover all of that in detail. You'd find it pretty interesting when you look at why we're in the supply crunch that we are. But back to this, some didn't. Some decided to sit on the sidelines. Some decided not to buy. Now wasn't the time. And I had several people tell me that I'm going to wait. By the end of the year, prices will be down 10%. Well, that didn't happen. Prices are up even further than where they were. So again, you need to make the decision that's best for you, not what I say or what anyone that records a video out there says it is going to be accurate 100%. I mean, right now it is a best guess that everyone is doing based upon the information available. I can tell you right now that there is nothing in the leading indicators to indicate a substantial slowdown is coming. But I can tell you just the feeling, the sentiment out there is that things are starting to change. And a lot of that has to do with affordability. I mean, there only comes a point. You can only raise prices so far until no one can afford it. It's just plain and simple. It's like, yeah, you can ask that price for your house, but who's going to pay it? And if no one's willing to pay the price, then that seller is going to need to bring that price down, or there's going to need to be some sort of give and take, right? You've got that teetering point. And that's to a certain extent where we're seeing and where we're at right now. Home affordability is reaching its absolute limit. So on this chart right here, it shows that by normal lending standards, and this is assuming a conventional conforming 20% down payment loan, that under normal circumstances, what the lender is looking for approval is they want to see that the principal and interest payment is no more than 28% of your income. All right, that's what they're looking for. Okay, and this is how it's varied over the years. But look at today, 29.1% is where we currently stand. Look how rapidly this has changed. In the third quarter last year, it was only at 22.4%, and now already it's jumped to 29.1%. That's a big change in a relatively short period of time. And that has to do with the fact that mortgage rates jumped substantially. Mortgage rates right now feel as though they're out of control because we haven't seen rates near where they're at in quite a few years. The last time we got anywhere near 5% was in 2018. And we did see a slowdown in the housing market in 2019. We didn't see prices come down, but we saw a slowdown in the housing market overall. Now, the biggest thing to point out here, and it's going to be shown on this next slide I'm going to show you in just a second, is one thing to keep in mind is if you've been shopping for a while and you got pre-approved, you spoke with a lender and you got pre-approved, maybe it was last fall, or maybe it was in the fourth quarter, or maybe it was even in January, you're going to need to want to have that checked and looked at again, because a 1% increase in mortgage rates lowers the amount that you are pre-approved for by approximately 10%. So for instance, if you were pre-approved for a $500,000 home loan at 3.5%, and now rates are at 4.5%, well, that 500,000 pre-approval is now 450. Well, prices haven't gone down. So all of a sudden, the type of home that you're looking for is going to change, or you're going to have to start looking in a different area. Just something to keep in mind. But look how rapidly this has changed. This is what happens to the change in a mortgage payment based on where rates are, on where they're projected to go. So if you go back and you assume a loan amount of $360,000, okay, at 2.73%, which is where we were in January of 2021, that monthly principal and interest payment was just under $1,500 a month. Today, that same payment is $1,871 a month. And as far as rates go, don't forget that not long ago, all of the leading experts thought that mortgage rates by the end of 2022 would be somewhere between 3.5% and 4%. 3.5%, 3.75%. Okay, well, we've blown right through that. Not even by the end of the year. I mean, it's April, and we've blown right through that. Now they're saying that they don't expect that the pace of appreciation to continue, or the pace of mortgage rate increases to be as quickly as it had. They expect that will settle down and are guessing somewhere around about 5.5% by later this year. If we use that, looking at this chart, going back to that same mortgage, that would bring that payment on that $360,000 loan to $2,044. It's about $580 more than it was just over a year ago. That's going to pinch. It's going to hurt, right? It's something that people haven't factored in. And I guarantee you the vast majority of people aren't seeing their wages go up quite that fast. I mean, it'd be nice if they were, but I just don't think that's happening. So you've got this give and take that's going to take place, right, in the marketplace right now. And that's something to keep in mind. I will say, with all of this going on, right, one of the absolute best quotes I've seen at all is from Edward Salier from the Mortgage Bankers Association. He said, let's be honest, nobody really knows what's going to happen over the next year. Now, isn't that the truth? I mean, I watch video after video after video, and I see all of these different reports. But the truth is, no one's got a crystal ball that works. Never seen it. I mean, we look at the data, we try and interpret it based on experience and what some of the indicators are saying, but no one knows for sure. And if you come across anyone that says, here's exactly what's going to happen, my suggestion is run. I wouldn't take that advice too seriously myself. So you need to make the decision that's best for you based on all of the information that you have. So with that in mind, what is most likely to happen? Well, as I just said, nobody knows for sure. But I do start, or I do think that we're going to start to see some balance come back into the market now. What I mean by that is if you're expecting home prices to suddenly tumble, there's nothing that indicates that's going to happen. There's just nothing there in any of the data right now. And I update what I'm looking at each and every week to try and keep track of that. And there's nothing to indicate that's going to happen. We are starting to see a few more price reductions, and that's from sellers that priced their home too high to begin with. It's not necessarily an indication that the overall market is declining. And this is going to be different from market to market to market. You're going to start to see variances all the way across the country. I can tell you here in North Texas, we're not expecting a big slowdown. The amount of people that are moving in, the population gains, and the amount of corporations relocating to this area is driving the growth. And right now, there's not really any end in sight. I do think the fact that prices have increased so fast, the idea that there's going to be bidding wars on every single home, on multiple offers, pushing the price way up above what it's listed for, I do see that coming to an end as we move further into this year. I think the days on market is going to increase, and it's going to start to return to normal. That frenzied atmosphere that we've been experiencing for the past couple of years, I think we're nearing the end of that. I think that's going to settle down, which will actually be a good thing for everybody involved. Again, nobody knows for sure what's going to happen, but hopefully this information helps. And if you have any questions or a specific situation you want to talk through in more detail, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach us at 469-296-5230 or send an email to contact@s2realestateteam.com.